Hello, I'm Tanya Krishna from Financial Express, and today we have with us Mr. Sameep Pathak, CEO Malls Oberoi Realty. Welcome, Mr. Pathak.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here, Tanya.
Pleasure. So first of all, how did we just towards the end of the 2022, how did the year fare for you and the entire shopping mall segment overall?
I think the year started on a great note and it continued to show an upward trend. And I would like to substantiate this with certain numbers. We did cross the highest ever sale since inception, which is 111 crores. The trading density, which in a layman's language is the realization of sale on per square foot basis, that grew by about 17%. This is despite the fact that we are touching close to about 90 to 93% of the footfalls we recorded pre-COVID, that is year 1920.
Right.
Uh, Footfalls have, as I said, has degrown by about 8 to 9%. Spend per head, which is the footfall is spending every footfall which spends, is about 34% growth we have observed in the spend of the customers. So overall, the year has been going very, very well. And we continue to see this trend even in the month of December with a similar kind of numbers, thanks to holidays followed by a good movie which has come up. And then, of course, the vacations, Christmas vacations are on at the moment. So all of this has amalgamated to a good growth. And we expect even the coming year to have a good promising numbers ahead.
If we talk about the areas in focus, what were the key areas in focus for Oberoi Mall in 2022? And what are your predictions? If we talk about numbers, what are your predictions for shopping malls industry overall for 2023 and for Oberoi Malls particularly?
So the key focus point for us was introduction of a few new brands and add more reasons for customers to visit mall. And those brands were from categories like fast fashion, F&B, and FEC.
Right.
Then we also relooked at giving some fresh look to the existing retail partners, and we went on to push those retail partners for renovation and giving a new look. And I think most of them have really exceeded the request, and that has resulted into further good sales getting reflected on each of those brands. So these were the key focus areas. Another focus point was to have occupancy of the mall maintained at about healthy 98%. 2% really helps us in relocation of brands and keep adding novelty to the mall. So these has been the key focus points for us. Now, as far as the upcoming year is concerned, we are expecting the growth to stay anywhere between 25 to 30%. And the reason is that one is the kind of categories which has shown a jump of actually anywhere between 80 to 90%. So we can consider those categories to have some kind of a pent-up demand. And I would like to really mention of those categories which have really grown, by so many leaps and bounds. And those categories actually were, gifting and home decor, which has grown in 3-digit percentage. Eyewear, which is close to about 95%. At leisure is about 65%. Footwear has grown by about 61%. And menswear has grown by about 43%. That still doesn't take away the sheen from the women wear, because I think the kind of sale numbers the women wear has been showing in the past, and in current the base is actually very high if we compare it to 1920. So hence we could see that women wear has also is close to about 30%, but men wear still tops compared to women at 43%.
That
So,
makes
with these kind of category, showing such humongous growth, it's quite evident that we are expecting some brilliant year ahead of us. And as I mentioned, we are expecting it to go by about 25 to 30%. That's one. Two, the kind of introduction by some group brands, has really given us a further boost to add new retail space in our current Oberoi Mall. And we are in the planning stage of adding close to about 25 to 30,000 square feet of additional space. Now, with this kind of additional space, we will be carving out close to about 20 to 22, outlets, ranging anywhere between 1,000 square feet to about 1,200 to 1,500 square feet. Now, this is a very conscious decision, and basis the kind of introduction of brands which we are seeing in the recent past. And I would like to further add with some examples. Like Aditya Birla has added some really good brands like Jaipur, Tatswa. So ethnic is something which is seeing a good growth, followed by Reliance brands. They are coming up with their cafe, which is Pret a Manger. Then Tim Hortons is looking for spaces in Mumbai city after they have substantially covered the northern part of the country.
right.
So these kind of demand from the brands have given us the reason to add more retail space, and this also will delight each of our customers to have more reasons to come to the mall. And these categories is something which were present in the mall, but with these brands, it will further get strengthened.
Right.
So this has been the prediction, and that's where I see 2023 to have a good growth.
Right. So when you said there will be additions in the space side of things, how do you add space in a mall? How does the additional space come in from? Where does it come in from? So do
So
you
we had
explain?
one of that's a good question, and it's very difficult to add a space unless and until you really are eyeing an anchor tenant to vacate. In
Right.
our case, there was one anchor tenant who wished to exit. They were holding a space of about 45,000 square feet, and that's where I said about 28 to 30,000 square feet, wherein we are carving out the space for inline stores, and the rest will fall into the common areas. So that's how we have been able to manage, and this 25 to 30,000 square feet of space is adding to about 22 to 23 retail outlets.
When you mentioned something around new look of stores and retail brands, they're looking at new look or reimagining or refurbishing their stores. So what does this imply? Are you adding experiential or technological integrations happening there? How do you give a new look to a store?
So it's actually a combination of a few things. First is to give an absolutely fresh look to the store, and the few who have just been renovated is like Louis Philippe, Alan Solly, Van Heusen,
Right.
and so on. So one is that they are able to bring the latest of their design into the store. That's one. Second thing is they further add space and better utilization of a space, and especially after COVID. Most of the retailers have realized that they want to have more of the spacious, experience which they wish to give to each of the customers. And for such kind of brands, especially ethnic apparels, wherein people spend more time, and that's where they want to bring comfort as well. So in terms of adding a lounge, in terms of personalization, especially in case of ethnic, and so on. So all these, touch points have been added uh, when these outlets have renovated. Now, in terms of adding further layer of experience, is where the customization bit comes in. And brands like Levi's, brands like Louis Philippe,
Right.
brands like Vero Moda, so they have started to add a lot of customization and tailor-made. Second is the experience of a product. Now, experience of a product is something wherein brands really push each of the customers to experience the product, touch, feel, not just for second or for minutes before the buy, but even after the buy. So they are starting to give a window to a customer of a week or of a 10-day wherein they feel the product, they enjoy the product. In case they have any kind of, change if they want to do, any kind of correction or alteration if they want to do, most of the brands are now getting opened for this thought. So that's another layer of experience which the retailers, have started to extend to each of the customers.
Right. And when we talk about innovations or technological integrations in the mall to drive footfalls, are there anything any kind of integrations that you are bringing in to bring in more footfalls or more crowd in the shopping mall?
So Tanya, currently we are working on one product.
Mhm.
Though it will be too early for me to mention of this, but now that you have asked, I think that's the need of the hour, wherein we start to integrate our neighborhood, to the mall and vice versa. And I would like to, give you a kind of a small brief on this product which we are trying to develop, wherein we want our immediate catchment. Like in case of Oberoi Mall, we have Oberoi Garden City sitting right behind,
Okay.
which is our residential. We have commercial, which is Commerce 1, and 2. 3 is under construction. And then we have our hotel guests, and then Oberoi International School. So we have a very ready audience which is sitting right there. Now, of course, you get to see things online, but getting to see things online at your nearest neighborhood mall is something where we want to bring in an answer. We also want to integrate our F&B partners on this, platform which we are trying to develop. So the intent is that I, sitting at Oberoi Garden City, get to know at the real-time basis what all is there in offering in terms of merchandise, in terms of F&B options, in terms of availability of space, in terms of availability of parking, and so on. So if this gets integrated, I think this will be a great model, because going forward, we are coming up with an integrated developments which consist of retail, hospitality, commercial, residential. So I think once this product is developed, I think this will give a good answer to at least scroll through virtually on what is available at the mall, and then take a decision of whether visiting the mall or still go in the process of ordering maybe online and getting it delivered at your doorsteps.
That would be convenient, actually. Yes.
Yes. So but that's still work in progress, I would say.
You mentioned about new brand launches. Can you give us the name of few of these brands which are going to open or may have opened in the last 1 or 2 months at Oberoi Mall?
Yes. So this year, we have seen some very good launches at the mall, and this has really brought some more reasons for customers to visit. And we have, opened outlets under the categories, which is jewelry, which is beauty, women's wear, fast fashion. And these brands, just to name a few, is Forevermark, Bluestone, the Soul Store, GKB Opticals. Then this year, one of the great addition to the mall is in Family Entertainment Center by Time Zone. It's a 9,000 square feet of entertainment center, and doing, I think, one of the best numbers in the city. So these has been the addition to the mall, and going forward, and as mentioned, that we are carving out more space. So we are Further expecting to add, categories which is into women's wear. A lot of, ethnic will get introduced in the mall. Further enhancing some jewelry brands, and with that category, jewelry will get enhanced. Few electronic stores is in pipeline. Then travel as a category we are gonna add, and then beauty, of
Uh,
course. Sorry.
right, sorry to cut you in. Travel as in,
So, brands like Guterres, brands like American Tourister, so that category of luggages, and comfort travel is something which we are planning to add into this new carved out location.
right, right.
And then followed by beauty.
If we talk about the right tenant mix at shopping malls today, what according to you is the right tenant mix? What should be the percentage divide between fashion or beauty, entertainment, F&B, and which floors should have what kind of stores? Can you throw some light on that?
First, I would like to talk about the tenant mix. I think tenant mix is quite healthy. It's more of strengthening of the mix currently what we are looking at. And as mentioned earlier, ethnic as a cluster we wish to create.
Okay.
So that's where we wish to add a few of the brands. And I think today, country is seeing some great brands like House of Pataudi, Jaipur, Tatswa, Ethnic City by Raymond's, Tanera by Tata, and so on. The second space is FEC, Family Entertainment Center.
Right.
I think family entertainment centers is not now just limited to, our younger audience up till 10 years or 12 years. I think it has gone much beyond wherein a customer really wants to have, that kind of an experience and something which you can't get online.
Right.
So we have seen a traction in a lot of corporates, and especially because we have them as a catchment as well. As I mentioned, Commerce 1 and 2 is our commercial hub. So that is, something which we want to strengthen. When I say strengthen, I'm talking about the novelty you bring into those centers.
Right.
And the novelty is by, changing the offerings every 3 to 4 months, and close to about 30 to 40% of the mix within that center gets absolutely a new offering. And that's where you see a repeat customers coming in. Third, very important category, and we continue to have, or rather increase our footprint, is F&B. So food and beverage is something wherein the customers have now become very experiential. They really want to experiment new cuisines. And I think we are giving them a new answer. The recent addition, what we have done into the mall is Coco Cart and Coco Cafe. We have added Pizza Express. And we are, speaking to few more brands to have their presence in the food court because of the limited space what we have. Then is the cafes which are sprinkled, across the mall. I think cafes are no more cafes anymore. They have actually become like a co-working spaces, and that's where, we really want to, promote it in that fashion. And the millennial crowd, the young crowd, really wants to hang out at these locations, and with no restrictions from any of the operators, that you have some time limit wherein you can sit and, enjoy. So these are the a few categories which are getting added, or the new leasing model, I would say, wherein we are now emphasizing, more. Coming back to the mix, what you asked. So F&B, if you see currently, is anywhere around 13-14% of the mall today. We want to jump it to about 25%. Now, it is not easy for our existing mall to do so, and we don't endeavor to do that, but we are doing, these application of learnings at our next asset, which I'm going to talk about in some time from now. Second is entertainment. So currently entertainment is about 11-12% of the mall, and for the next asset, we are taking this as a learning wherein family entertainment centers need to have more space because of the offering, in terms of AR games, bowling alley, arcade games, trampolines, ice parks, go-karting, is something which is gaining traction. So that's where, the need for larger space is what our FEC partners have started to talk about, and we are carving out, almost, I would say, 4 times the current size of FEC. So close to about, so now their appetite has gone from a 9-10,000 square feet to about 35-40,000 square feet. So that's where we are focusing, how we can actually cater to that need. And then, of course, comes the retail brands, which will take close to about 70% of the mall. And when I say retail, it consists of apparels to bag and footwears to beauty to departmental store, electronics, hypermarket, and so on.
Right. And if we talk about floor allocation, which floor should have retail brands, which floor should have cafes, or which segment brands should be the anchor tenant? Can you elaborate on that?
So it actually depends a lot on the kind of structure each of the mall is coming up with.
Okay.
But just to throw some light, so premium brands, bridge to luxury brands, they prefer to have a second floor location.
Okay.
And in our next asset, I'm telling them that I have 2 ground floor locations. They are getting a little confused that how come you have 2 ground floor locations? And that's where the answer is that, of course, we have ground floor and we have a second floor which is connected to the metro station. I think we'll be one of the first one to have that connectivity, with that kind of an offering. So ground floor is something wherein you have an influx of people coming into your retail, arena from an outside area. And even the second floor is serving the same purpose. So coming back to our point is that the anchor would take ground and first sitting on an extreme left, extreme right corner, of course, to drive footfalls. And I think to keep the buzz on, each of the floor today requires an F&B outlet and more to do with the cafe formats and an informal kind of a format. Then comes, premium bridge to luxury brands to sit on the ground level. On the first and second level, you will see men as one category sitting on one floor and women on the second floor. And, with the new carve out space, what we are talking about, we are trying to create a kind of a cluster of ethnic wear along with, jewelry. So we are trying to make that as a cluster. Now, that is something, which we have thought of. You do see in other malls, but it's quite, sprinkled,
True.
around that floor. We are trying to make a kind of a cluster with those kind of brands, as mentioned, like, Tanera, House of Patodi, Tatswa, Mia by Tanish, and so on. So that's what been our thought, and we feel that I think this works really well. Why? Because if somebody is coming for any kind of traditional, occasion and wish to shop, I think in a very, a tight space, or rather, a well-connected space, you get answers to all your needs, whether it's footwear to apparel, to accessorization, which is like jewelry.
There have been a lot of pop-up stores nowadays at shopping malls. So how are these taking shape in malls, and what really is the sense of bringing in pop-up stores outside the mall as well, and then inside in the common areas?
I think pop-up is a great idea, which all of us are adopting. One reason is that it doesn't require, a kind of a long-term lease. You can have a very casual or a short-term leasing. That's one. Second, you as a mall operator and the pop-up operator, both sides understand if the customers are liking or disliking, the product which is there on the offer. You are able to bring novelty So if I'm doing a pop-up, I may be doing it for a month or maybe for a 15 days, and then I have an ability to churn it.
Right.
The capex requirement, for that pop-up is, I would say, almost nil, because most of the mall, they have their own setup ready for any pop-up operator to come, put in their products and start to, play. So the kind of agility you bring into this entire ecosystem of, a pop-up, really works both ways. And you can experiment with a lot of things. And I'll give you an example of a couple of brands like Outhouse, which is into, semi-precious jewelry. This actually started with pop-ups. And because they got the kind of confidence they got during their initial stage, pushed them to have stores in the mall today. So I think that has been one of the great successful journey, I would say. The second is, again, a semi-precious jewelry branch like Isharia. Again, that brand started with the same format. And, like flea markets. So people get to understand if my F&B is working fine, if people are really enjoying it, open to feedbacks. Then they have an ability, the operator has an ability to go and check other markets. So today I am at Oberoi Mall, tomorrow I can be in South Mumbai, day after tomorrow I can be in Delhi, and so on. So I think the entire ecosystem really works for, if I have to use the word startups, for them to get the confidence and then take a bigger step, in doing further investment and, really cement their footprints into respective retail outlets.
So what are your expectations in terms of, driving footfall and sales at shopping centers during this time?
So, of course, the festivities are still on. So, one which we are looking forward to is the Hollywood and Bollywood releases, which are expected in the first quarter of next year. Second, as I mentioned, adding of the, more brands into the current retail mix of the mall. That's, should add more reasons for people to come, and of course, leading to a kind of a spend. Apart from that, it's more of adding, decor to all these things, should add. And plus, of course, end of season sale,
of course,
to an extent, it has started. That should really add up, to the overall top line for the mall.
Right. And finally, can you elaborate or tell us something around your expansion plans in terms of project launches or anything, and also the kind of additional investment that would go into all of these expansion plans?
So our next retail asset, which is a 1 million square feet mall, is coming up at Borivali East, which is right on Western Express Highway. As I was mentioning, it is a integrated development consisting of close to about 2,800 residential units divided among 10 60-story towers. Then we have a 1 million square feet mall, and next to the mall we have a 5-star hotel coming up. So this is how the property looks like. And a 1 million square feet mall is again very much focused on F&B, taking a mix to about 25% larger FEC in terms of cinema, which is a 10-screen multiplex, and then FEC, which is about 36,000 square feet. And then rest of the mall, which of course will house best of the premium brands, and catering to almost all the categories like hypermarket to toys to beauty to departmental stores, electronics, apparels, footwears, etc. Our next asset after, so Borivali is expected to get launched by 3rd quarter of next calendar year. Okay. So that's what we are targeting, to launch it with. So Diwali is falling in the month of November. So really want to start, at least a month to 40 days prior to Diwali of 23. Our third asset is expected to come in Thane, which will be 1.5 million square feet. Again, an integrated development that we are expecting to go live by 25-26.
Give me a figure on the kind of investment that could go on the mall side of this project.
So mall side, Borivali would be close to about anywhere between 2,500 to 3,000 crores. And similar kind of development and capex we are expecting for Thane.
All right. So think that was all I had. Thank you so much for talking with us. And
thank you so much, Tanya.